You know the problems. Let's talk a little bit about some of the solutions, like support for the development of new businesses, which is where most jobs come from, and innovative ideas, which are the kind of jobs you would like to be creating, ones that solve our problems. Joining us now, Carl Schramm, CEO of the Kaufman Foundation, the world's largest foundation devoted to entrepreneurship. Also here for the conversation, Angela Sheldon, CEO of Arise Virtual Solutions. And if you're in need of a job, remember the name, Arise. Looking to hire 6,000 workers over the next 3 months to work in virtual call centers. It's a pleasure to see you both. How are you?
How many new businesses are being started all the time? That's the real trick to understanding whether or not there will be, in fact, a recovery that has jobs in it or not.
Does that wash with you, Angela, as an executive, an operating executive right now?
Absolutely. We see in our business about 14,000 new small businesses that were created in the last few years with Arise, and that's how the people actually provide service to clients.
So you get more business when there's more business being done because you're the one that's supporting those new businesses.
That's absolutely right. One of the exciting things that we're seeing in our business, which is HomeShoring, the opportunity for us to bring jobs that had been sent overseas for call center work, either to Manila or to India back on shore, is the opportunity for people to have new ways to do work. So they actually work from their homes, they do customer service or sales calls, and what we find is not only are folks able to work for the first time or to go back to work after they've been unemployed for a while, but we're also seeing new entrepreneurial businesses growing as a result. As Carl mentioned, what we're finding now are people like Lexine Mitchell, who has created a business to help coach some of our best performers to even perform better, earn more money, and she has a business now that supports about 150 people, teaching them how to be more competent and more confident in what they do every day on the calls.
When you look at these types of innovations or adaptations, basically, it's now plausible that you could have a distributed workforce working out of their homes in a virtual call center, effectively doing what is being done overseas. Here, that wouldn't be possible, obviously, 20, 30, 40 years ago, because the technology wouldn't support your doing that. Speaking of disruptive political forces, the politics of outsourcing versus HomeShoring. This is something that you have addressed directly. In fact, you made a proposal to the president at one point. I've got a quote of you saying, to close the gap between the very small percentage difference that exists between the cost to offshore a job and the cost to homeshore a job into someone's home is small. You're suggesting a tax credit. Can you give me an example of how much of a difference that is economically?
Certainly. There's two factors that actually make the cost advantage real. The first is that a home-shoring worker doesn't require an 8-hour shift. So a lot of the waste that exists in a bricks-and-mortar call center is eliminated because folks are working only when the calls are coming in.
So they're only billing when they're on the phone.
That's right. And second, what we're finding is that 2.3 calls are placed to an offshore company for someone to get their question answered versus the question being answered for the first time if you speak with someone around the block versus someone around the world.
Do you have statistics around the block? You have the 2.3 number. Are you saying it's only one call typically?
It's one call in the U.S. for 2.3 calls offshore.
And what types of businesses are the quickest so far to take you up on this home shoring and virtual call centers?
You know, that's a great question. The early adopters were certainly retailers and the travel companies, where cultural congruence, understanding the needs of the specific customers calling in, was very important. But now we're seeing every industry embracing it, whether it's the high-tech companies, the telecom and financial services companies, everyone who has a brand that matters to them and a customer experience that they want to enhance really can benefit from folks in the U.S. taking calls from home.
An absolute pleasure to have the privilege to talk with both of you and to meet you.
Thank
Angela,
you.
Congratulations again. Rise Virtual Solutions, 14,000 over the next 3 months.
14,000, 6,000.
You have 4,000.
Yeah,
6,000 more.
That's right.
Be 20,000.